From the 915 to H-Town, from the Panhandle Plains to the Valley, and everywhere in between, this is the 50/50 Podcast, powered by National Scouting Report. Join me, Hector Cano, as we cover the Texas high school club and college soccer landscape, along with an inside look at the college soccer recruiting scene. The 50/50 Podcast is a platform about the people and for the people who are dedicated to the beautiful game. And we're back live here from beautiful Moody Gardens here in Galveston, Texas for the 2023 Texas High School Soccer Coaches Convention. I am joined live now by one of our former guests, right? A 50/50 Podcast alum himself, Coach Alexi Upton of Sulphur Springs High School. Coach, how you doing?
Yes, sir. How are you? Good. Just happy to be here like everybody else. Good to be around a bunch of soccer people, talk the game and things like that.
Right. Awesome. Yeah. And as of course, as luck would have it, you were one of the very first coaches that I saw here. So not shocked whatsoever. So great stuff, man. Thank you for being here. I know we're going to go just get you on for a few minutes here. And kind of two things that we really wanted to highlight was one, your upcoming 4A tournament, and then tell us a little bit more about recent United Soccer Coaches course, advanced course that you guys hosted as well. So tell us, so we'll start off with, the course just passed recently, not too long ago. Tell us how that went.
Yeah, that's super cool. I worked with United Soccer Coaches on creating a place for them to come and be a part of our facilities. We've got incredible facilities, 120-yard multi-purpose building that not a lot of people have. And I really just felt like I had to give that back to the Texas community.
Yeah.
Everybody doesn't wake up with that in their backyard. So, we had 12 coaches there. It was a really great experience. We had people from everywhere. We had a dude from the Valley. We had people that weren't Texas people. Yeah. A dude from Dallas. So people from everywhere, and they were just in awe too. Yeah. I mean, they were so impressed with everything and the facilities, and even the instructor was really excited. And it went really well. It was cool. It was at a USC Advanced National, which is the second tier of their three tiers. Right. And yeah, it was a really great time, and it's cool to just meet different people and collaborate and do all those kind of things where you get to talk soccer and you get to talk ideas and philosophy. So it was really cool.
So what were maybe the key lessons learned from having hosted it to where if you were to do it again or you recommend it to somebody, key lessons learned, what were they?
Hosting it was super cool. I mean, like I set up all the kids and my kids got to come to every session and get taught by different people each time. So I thought that was really cool.
So they were in all the actual sessions.
They were in every single one of the sessions.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So the Friday night, there was the girls team did that one session, but the other 4 blocks of sessions were all my boys, my JV boys, my varsity boys, my freshman boys. And so it was really cool. And it was actually really awesome because the main instructor is a USSFA guy, a really high level dude. He pulled my guys aside. It was actually my varsity group. He pulls them aside and he said, "Hey, we can sit here and play around and not give ourselves 110%, or we can come into every training and have a great atmosphere." And while he was talking to them, I was like, in the background. Yeah. And because we got a really young group this year, I graduated 18 last year.
Did you really?
I graduated 9 starters, 14 played, and 18 total. A couple managers string along kids that were really great kids. And that's what we've been saying to them coming in. Like, hey, guys, we had a really great year last year in one district and win a couple rounds, lost to a team that went to a state tournament, but we're back here at square one. You're all freshmen, sophomores, and a couple juniors. Like, we're super young. Like, you haven't earned anything. Yeah. So you can't come in here lazy. You can't come here with bad energy and stuff like that. Right. And that's a token few times. Usually they're very incredible, very high energy, but sometimes they're a little nonchalant because they're taking things for granted. And he said it right off the back, and I was just like, try to tell you these things, boys. Like, it's not just me preaching this.
No, it's great when they hear from someone else, right?
It is great when they hear from somebody else. Awesome. So he was a really great guy. He was a USSFA guy that ran the class. He does both USSF and United Soccer Coaches. So it was really cool to see that he does both sides of it. And he had, there was relevance to both programs and both forms of growing yourself as a coach and an educator. So it was really cool. Yeah.
Watching it from afar, right, where you were, obviously you're not going through the course, you're hosting the course. Those are your players. What's one thing that surprised you that you learned just from being there and hosting?
I think just it's really wild, like how people want to grow themselves in terms of those kind of sessions and classes and things like that. I mean, there was a dude from Utah, and he wasn't even a club coach. He wasn't anything. He took a national a year ago in like Colorado or something like that, and then he took our advanced national in Sulphur Springs. And he was like, I still have yet to coach a program. Like, but I'm just here to learn and grow, and then when the time's right, like I'm gonna take over a program. And I just thought that was like mind blowing. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to move on to higher levels and things like that. And this guy's
it's definitely not the norm.
He's never even entered the door. You know what I mean? Like he's not even he hasn't walked through the doorway yet. You know, and so I thought that was crazy. I just was like, that's super cool, man. Like that's awesome that it's just purely self growth. Yeah. And so I mean that's what's important about those courses, whether it's USSF or United Soccer Coaches, is you're in there, you're trying to grow as a professional, you're trying to grow and develop yourself as a coach, and you're exposing yourself a little vulnerably, like, hey, I'm here to grow. Like, I'm not the best. I don't have all the answers. Yeah. So it was cool, man. Yeah.
And in certain regards, that's being a blank canvas like that can probably work to your benefit because you're not skewed by any kind of previous experiences,
no preconceptions,
right? Positive or negative. So so awesome. So I know we're trying to work through here relatively quick so we can everybody wants to get out to this 7 p.m. session, right, with Adam Birchall from Arsenal. So a couple more questions here, Coach. Tell us now, we start talking about you host what many regard probably maybe the best 4A tournament in the state, right? Arguable, of course, but still definitely one of the best. Tell us a little bit about that tournament. Who's in there? When is it going on? And just tell us a little bit more about it.
I think it's absolutely the best tournament 4A. It's 4A only.
You're not biased.
16 teams, 279. We tallied it up from last year at 279 wins between the 16 teams.
Wow.
11 of the 16 teams were district champions somewhere.
Really?
11 of the 16 were district champions somewhere. Nice. I mean,
going in or at the end of last year?
Yeah, like they were district champions. Yeah. They're current district holders of their district.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, I mean, where are you going to find that anywhere else? Right. You know what I mean? Like there's tournaments that have really great teams, really high level programs.
And last year, who won that? Was that Salina?
Salina, right? Yeah, and then they go all the way to regional final. You know, Diamond Hill was in the final. They go all the way to regional semis and region 1. You know, like when you come to our tournament, you're going against tons of high level people that are in 4A. That are second, third, fourth round playoff teams. Right. And typically the people that are at the very end of our tournament, like in year one was in a regional semi and one was in a regional final in 2 different regions. Yeah. So, I mean, you're playing really high quality people.
And I'm assuming you still have, that is like fully booked at this point, right? You don't have any openings.
1,000%.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So maybe for some of the college coaches that might be listening, right, that can get away, give us the full rundown, where locations, dates, all that stuff.
Gerald Prim Stadium, which is in Sulphur Springs, January 4th through the 6th, that first week of tournaments. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then like the whole day, like 8 to 8, a whole day packed of just people from all over the area. We have your graphic at the start of your little introduction to your podcast made me think of, I did this little spit about where our people were coming from. I was like, from the valley to the end.
There you go. There you go.
And it sounded just like yours. So it made me laugh. I thought it was really funny. But we got Progresso coming from the valley. Yeah. We got 3 teams coming from the Panhandle area, Pampa, Perryton, somebody else. I can't think of it off the top of my head. We got 2 East Texas teams. We got 2 Dallas teams. We got a Fort Worth team. Yeah. Alvarado's kind of in the Central Texas area. Yeah. We got CC London coming from Corpus Christi.
Oh, from Corpus. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so there's just people from everywhere, man. Nice. It's a super cool. Huffman Hargraves coming from Houston. So just people from everywhere, man. They're all really excited to go play people, different talents and things like that.
I keep telling you, 4A is kind of that little sweet spot that I just think it's still very much pure, and I love to watch it. So many people think that it's somehow I don't know, that it's inferior. It's nothing could be further from the truth. So definitely excited for that. Thanks, Coach. And before we wrap up here, go ahead and tell us, this is kind of your free time, stoppage time here. Tell us whatever's on your mind, shout outs, thank yous, anything you talk about the experience so far here at TASCO 2023. Floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, just a lot of things. Like, thank you for having me on. I always love coming here and speaking a little soccer with you. TASCO convention's awesome. Every year it's just getting bigger and better. There's more vendors. There's freaking Arsenal guy and 3 minutes.
In 3 minutes. Yeah.
I mean, that's sick though. You know what I mean? Like a U17 Arsenal guy's taking his time, flew all the way over from Arsenal running sessions. Like that is legit. Like, and so it really just helps everybody. I talk all the time about how I share. People call me like the contact guy because like they'll ask me like, hey, do you have Hector's number, whatever? Can you share it to me real quick? And I'll be like, hey, Hector, can I share your number to this guy? And I'll share his contact. Like, but it's all about us growing everybody. Correct. You know what I mean? I share PDFs to people. I share PowerPoints to people. Like, and so to see people like that walk in the door that are Arsenal people, like, what more can we ask for? Like, he's going to have the highest level of knowledge. He's at one of the biggest stages in terms of academies. Like, and so, I mean, it's just a privilege to be here. I'm really blessed that I get to come here every year and get to help.
Well said. Well said. Well said. Well, Coach, as we start to wrap up here, one thing we need to ask you to do real quick is you want to go ahead and take off your headphones and sign our placard back here that we're having every guest sign. If you want to put a message with that, and then we're going to either kind of donate it or something.
The ball is around.
At some point. You like that? Yeah. Yeah. Great stuff. So go ahead. If you want to take off your headphones, go ahead, watch your step there. Careful. And, I always say this makes for fascinating video and audio, but it's good for them to see you guys sign. So yeah, that's Adams there. So I keep forgetting you're a lefty. All right, and thanks again, Coach. He finishes signing up. So again, that is Alexi Upton of Sulphur Springs High School. Great 4A tournament, first week of January. Go ahead, check it out. They're going to be doing great things with his young group. He's done tremendous things. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this next session that everybody wants to check out, obviously, and we'll be bringing you much more live action interviews here from the TASCO 2023 TASCO Texas High School Soccer Convention.